Hey guys, it's Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Butterflies Poison. Going to finish up Majima's stuff today. We obviously got our good ending. Well, we finished the good ending. We did the final chapter in the last part. We have to do his bad endings, and then we do also have three things in the extras. And I didn't realize when I was looking at them in the last part, I saw like something about like final ending or ending, and I was like, ending, but it says the real true ending or something like that. And I was like, oh, wait a minute. So we'll see how long these bad endings take to get, and then maybe we'll do that one in this part, and then next part we'll finish up those unless they're all really quick and we can manage to do it in this last hour. I'm assuming we're gonna need this to do kind of the bad endings. Maybe we can do one of those extras, do the other two extras, and then play around with the voice acting, turn it on in the next part, and kind of just wrap everything up and tie it in a little bow. So anyway, I've started with our bad ending 2. Well, save file 2. This is bad ending called A Bad Man. So we basically say, take me with you. Then take me with you. Huh? Wherever you go, I'll go. Take me with you. My lady. Majima scowls, glaring at her with irritation in his gaze. Now what's the point in my leaving? I'm not going back to the manor to stay away from you, my lady. No, I don't want you to go. Finally, no longer able to fight back the tears, Spacey begins to cry. And then she reaches out her hands and clings to Majima. My lady, I'll never give you up. I'll throw everything away for you. Please, Majima. She figures that at this rate, no amount of sensical persuasion will change Majima's mind. So she'd rather throw away her shame than lose him. She just doesn't want to have any regrets. What Spacey wants is to let him know the sincerity of her feelings with her entire being. But what can you do? What? The tone of Majima's voice changes drastically. It's kind of funny because, like, you just feel like this. I mean, it's a bad ending, but it's like, we were like, I'm not going back to the manor either. And now we're like, take me with you. And it's not too much of a different choice, but it drastically changes. And instead of him running away with you, now he's going to go psycho? Like, it's very bizarre. She looks up at him with tear-stained cheeks to find him watching her with his jaw clenched and his face pale. Do you have any idea how hard I've tried to reject you? And yet, here you are, clinging to me. Majima? Fine. Any trace of emotion vanishes from Majima's countenance. My lady, I will take you with me. But if you follow me, you'll have to face the brutal truth. Are you sure you'd still want to come with me? He looks at her right in the eye with a gaze so sharp it seems to be piercing through her. His expression is proof that he's readied himself for something she doesn't know. Spacey's heartbeat quickens. Perhaps Majima's been carrying some devastating truth. Yes? Still, Spacey doesn't think it could prompt her to give up on her feelings for him. Is this where he tells her that we're siblings? I am. Take me with you wherever you go. I don't know what truth you're talking about, but I'll face it head on. Oh my god, and then the bad ending's going to be because she can't handle that they're siblings. Which, okay, I would call bullshit on, because she was totally fine having kind of feelings for Mizuhito, and then he's like, I'm not actually your brother. And then it didn't bother her. You know what I mean? That even though people were going to see them as siblings, like, her thing wasn't, oh, good, thank God, we're not siblings. She was kind of had those feelings anyway. So, like, Majima actually being her sibling shouldn't have her be, like, so traumatized by it. You know what I mean? But it's a bad ending, so whatever. A moment of silence passes over the two of them. Majima has indeed heard Spacey's answer loud and clear. He smiles at her with a somewhat resigned look etched across his features. Very well. You're gonna throw away your life up until this point and be a part of me. We'll be in the same boat, no matter what. At this moment, Spacey has no idea what Majima is referring to. All she knows is that his words have given her a vague sense of relief, and therefore utter bliss. They won't have to part. They'll be in the same boat, together. She's so caught up in her happiness that it doesn't even cross her mind that she might have stepped into a new chapter of suffering in her life. That sounds traumatic. Ending time? Yep. Final chapter. A bad man. It's been a year since she decided to throw everything away and live with Majima. Immediately after she made the decision, Majima took her with him to Shanghai. He made Spacey stay in his residence and study Chinese thoroughly. Now she can speak Chinese well enough for her to have no problem participating in ordinary conversations. He himself speaks Chinese very fluently. When she asks him for the reason, it appears that he's been doing business in Shanghai for many years. Now he's fluent enough to argue with locals as an equal. He always brings Spacey along with him to business meetings and other occasions. At first, she didn't understand a thing, but as she came to master the language, she began to realize that Majima is in a tremendously outrageous occupation. Oh my god! She looks so, demure and sad, but, he looks so fine in this CG, guys. What the hell? This is... Wow. You know what it is? It's the, It's because he's a stone cold douche in this. You know what I mean? It's a bad ending, and he's like, fine, I'm gonna be evil. And it's just... There's something about it that should... Look, it's hot. Is this what he meant when he said we'd be in the same boat? Naturally, she lost her bearings and felt very depressed in the beginning. Still, she reminded herself that she was the one who chose to follow Majima. And he doesn't hide anything from Spacey. He reveals everything to her. Is that why she looks like this? Because she's fucking her brother? However, he never talks about what he does to betray his business partners and all of his dodgy dealings. He only divulges the circumstances under which he had to do those things after he's done them. Majima also told Spacey about the staggering revelation in regards to their blood ties at the early stage of their relationship. She's stuck now. Oh, is this the end where she's like, I don't want to be doing my brother, but now you're doing your brother whether you like it or not? And it's like a oh, okay. Now that's dirty. What did we say at the end of the last part? We didn't get any sexy romance stuff, and now we got the really inappropriate. She's like, I don't want this, and too late? Oh, ouch. Oh. Spacey knows everything now. About what her parents did. About what happened to Majima's foster parents. The only time I can stay by Majima's side is when he's working. According to Majima, having a lady who oozes class instead of some elegant woman by his side is good for business. Spacey can't say she comprehends the logic behind that statement, but that doesn't stop Majima from introducing her to his business partners as his younger sister. Oh, instead of his lover? It's become common knowledge among the people around Majima that Spacey is his younger sister, and everyone respects her. No one dares to mess with the sister of the Opium King of the Underground Society. So he is the Opium King, that's what I said, but it made it sound like he wasn't at the end of his route, and I was like, huh. I always thought he was. Okay, well, whatever, it doesn't matter. Okay, so I see that maybe, and so he's like, this is my sister, so nobody fucks with her, because if he was like, oh, this is my bitch, he would be like, oh, whatever. There's a respect with the blood ties. Apparently, he's explained to those around him that he finally found his younger sister, who had been separated from him since birth, and rescued her from a horrible situation. Yes, here, Spacey is Majima's sister. She doesn't care if it's the truth. Too late now. She can't be expected to start treating and thinking of Majima as her older brother. Spacey, her older brother is Mizuhito, and no one else. And yet, Majima treats her only as his kin. Aww. So despite the fact that he desperately wants her, nothing's happening. Why am I sad about that? That day, he didn't take Spacey with him as his lover. Aww, there really is a bad ending. He took her with him to Shanghai as his only family, as his blood relative. You're my precious little sister. I'll take responsibility and look after you for the rest of your life. Majima's sincere. Spacey cries until her tears stain her pillowcase almost every night. She doesn't want to be Majima's sister. She wants to be his lover, his wife. And she doesn't care that they're blood related. But Majima doesn't sleep with Spacey. Every night he sleeps with girls from the nightlife business. This is... okay. Each time, however, he brings a different girl to bed. She has never seen him bring the same girl twice. That fact is about the only thing that soothes Spacey's mind. It tells her that, to Majima, she's unique, and no one can replace her. The woman he needs to satisfy his sexual urges with can always be replaced. But to Majima, Spacey's the only person who can be his younger sister. Still, wanting to be loved as a woman. Spacey remains a virgin maiden to this day. No one's brave enough to lay a finger on the younger sister of Majima, the king, but he himself never touches Spacey as a woman. So she's decided to devote herself to Majima, to find the meaning of her life in the midst of days where she can monopolize the space next to him. Information that's likely to benefit him and information that isn't. Any movement by people who are trying to betray him and the purposes of those who are spreading bad rumors about him. She's come to figure out all of those matter. Before long, all sorts of people who have guessed what Spacey, who wants information on any potential danger to Majima, desires begin to gather under her name. Have guessed what Spacey desires, begin to gather under her name. It's just weird how they cut that sentence off. She'll never allow anyone to bring him down, not under her watch. That desire will eventually lead her away from all the common sense and morals she has now. Spacey has yet to realize that. Yes, she's blind to her own change. Blind to the fact that she's steadily walking on the path to becoming this organization's second in command. Majima might have seen it coming, and Spacey desperately clung to him when she told him she'd throw everything away for him. That's when he knew that Spacey would never betray him, that she'd be the only person he could trust in this world where everyone was born a traitor. She is by Majima's side again today. She's observing their surroundings, every nook and cranny, a blindingly captivating smile on her face and a cold glint in her eyes. No, she looks really depressed. Majima has his eyes trained on Spacey, gazing at her lovingly. People refer to Majima and the younger sister who's devoted to her older brother as the Opium King of the Underground and the Ice Empress. This is so sad. I think the worst part of it is the fact that she doesn't care, and Majima's obviously sleeping around because he won't let himself lay a hand on his sister. But, like, that's the worst part of that ending. That ending could have been so good if it's like, yeah, I threw everything. But then again, it wouldn't be... I mean, I guess it'd technically be a bad ending because... You know what I mean? Yeah, she gets Majima, but she throws everything away, and now she's living this devious lifestyle type of a thing. But... I don't know. Like, I think that would have been one of those, like, where it's like a bad ending, and you're like, yeah, but this ending's awesome. That ending would have been that if it wasn't Majima never touched and he brings a different horror home every night. No. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah, you tell everyone it's your sister, but that doesn't stop you from banging her, you know what I mean? Like, man, that makes it a bad ending, absolutely. So, now we're here, we're going to be skipping a lot. A lot of this is going to be similar stuff that we've done, and I feel like it's very... Oh, no, So this one... Our father did die in this one. Okay. So this is going down the original path. I was wondering if it was going down a similar, like, Kyoko path. Actually, I think in the Kyoko one, our father still died, right? And everybody still died in the Kyoko ending? I think so. We pick Majima, but he can't go with us, so then we pick no one, and we get accosted by Shiba. Lead. It's the title card again, which is the theme. And this is the tiger. They're talking about the tiger meat, I think. Oh. Oh no, this was different. Right, okay. That was a little individual part. Okay. So we go and we see Majima. This is the tiger meat party. Okay. We drink Majima's tea. This one's different. Okay. I'll find something to do. I understand. If there's anything you need, please do not hesitate to call for me. Okay, thank you, Fujita. He bows and leaves her. To put it bluntly, she's hesitant to go to Majima for some reason. Not like I'm going for some nefarious purpose. She just feels unusually shy and her cheeks feel flushed. Ever since that night, she's felt strange. Ever since he saved her from those ruffians, all she can do is think of Majima. Tell the truth, he was a big part of her reason for declining the banquet. Ever since that incident, he's been true to his word to stay by her side. If she decides to head out for a bit or even just take a little stroll through the garden, he'll come flying to her side. But a servant like Majima couldn't possibly follow her to a banquet at the Teikoku Hotel. Recently, passing time with him feels perfectly natural to Spacey. and to go without him would make her feel lonely. It's just so much more pleasant to spend my time here with Majima, rather than at a banquet where I don't even know half the people attending. In some respects, that's irrelevant. The way Spacey feels now, it doesn't matter where she is, as long as it's with him. Majima? Majima, where are you? She heads out to the garden to see if she can find him, and she promptly spots some familiar form on the other side of the bushes.
Oh, my lady. Here, take a look at this.
What's this? Majima's holding some sort of flower in his hand. The lovely flower has thin petals that taper into delicate points. Spacey tilts her head curiously, and Majima smiles wryly.
You have to ask. What's a pink...
Nadeshiko? Nadeshiko? Is that how you say it? And
Nadeshiko flower. It's quite pretty when it blooms, isn't it? I guess this means it'll be getting cooler soon.
Oh, then this isn't Nadeshiko. There are a lot of traditional poems about these, aren't there?
Have you never seen one before, my lady? One of the 7 flowers of autumn. Please remember its appearance.
I've seen one before, I just didn't know the name for it. Besides, I don't need to remember its name to live my life.
You're a far cry from being called a Nadeshiko type, my lady.
Majima, what do you mean to imply?
Oh, nothing. Well, shall we have some tea?
Hey, don't dodge the question.
I received some delicious snacks from an acquaintance. Shall we eat some together, my lady?
Majima puts the flower in Spacey's hand and smiles. She always thinks his smile is so unfair. She fiddles with the flower and reluctantly nods.
My lady, we have some fruit. I have sweet white peaches.
No, I'm fine with just the snacks. There'll be tea, too.
As you wish. We can have fruit next time.
Majima returns from the kitchen with a plate heaped with lovely golden brown baked sweets. Today's black tea is served with pink rose petals floating in it. The appearance is splendid and the aroma speaks to the superb quality of the tea. Majima takes a seat before Spacey and opens his mouth.
Come to think of it, the young master got in a car earlier on his way out.
Did. Lady Kyoko invited us out to dinner tonight.
Are you not attending, my lady?
Yeah, I mean, it's tiger meat. I'm curious, but I don't really get it.
Tiger meat? Something like that would mean they went to Korea, right?
It sounds like it. Lady Kyoko's father seems to enjoy hunting, or so I was told.
To go through all the trouble of crossing the sea, that's just like an imperial advisor. Can't really imagine such a thing, because over there the tigers are the personification of mountain gods.
Spacey's surprised at how grim-faced Majima is. Do you not like hunting?
It's not that. Rather, humans live by eating other living things, so I think hunting's a perfectly natural thing. But the purpose isn't truly for eating, if one travels all the way to Korea just to hunt, right?
That's true, I'd say. I think it's probably to show power or something. I hate that kind of human pride. I mean, he ain't wrong. Like, it's one of those, like, I don't particularly like hunting. Like, I'm well aware that, like, I'm not, like, a vegetarian or vegan. I do eat meat on occasion. Most of the time I cook with tofu just because I'm fucking lazy and it's easier. And I don't like touching raw chicken. I don't. And you can crumble up fucking tofu, put taco seasonings on it, and make delicious fucking tacos out of it. I don't need to get ground beef. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just whatever. But I don't have a problem with, like, chicken or meat or anything like that. You know what I mean? And you know how it's processed, and you know what comes from animals, like, whatever. I don't particularly like the idea of hunting. I don't think it's a problem if you're like, yeah, I go out hunting and I kill a deer and then I skin it and then we actually, like, you make jerky or steaks or venison things or whatever with the meat. Like, that's one thing. Like, okay, you're going out for the sport of it, but you're gonna eat what you kill. That, no, you're not gonna do, you might not utilize every piece, but I know that there are people that do go out hunting and then, like, okay, where you can, like, oh, I go to this person and they carve up the deer for me and I get the meat from it and then, like, maybe they do other things. And, like, whatever. I don't know how that whole process works. But the idea of just going, like, yeah, I just went to shoot a tiger, man, high five. Yeah, fuck you. Like, that's douchey. You know what I mean? And tigers are an endangered species, so, like, don't fucking hunt them. There's a fuck ton of deer and rabbits all over the place, so, like, whatever. That's why there's a deer hunting season. Like, they overpopulate. They're crazy. They're gonna end up in the fucking roads and your car's gonna hit them. So, like, fine. Let hunters hunt them. If they're gonna eat the meat. Like, you know what I mean? You're not just like, I killed it for funsies, high five, and you just leave it. You know what I mean? I still wouldn't go hunting because I'm like, I don't want to shoot an animal that's looking at me. I'm well aware that my meat had eyeballs at one point and could look me in the... I'm well aware when I'm eating chicken and my bird is staring at me that, like, is a weird thing. Like, but you know what I mean? Like, I didn't go after the chicken and chop its fucking head off myself and pluck it. Like, I ain't doing that, you know? So, like... And I personally wouldn't go hunting because it seems boring as fuck. It's like fishing. Oh, sweet Jesus, shoot me now. You know what? Shoot me! Like, drown me in the... I don't want to do this. Like, that sounds boring and horrible. But again, I don't have a fundamental problem if you're going to... Like, oh, I go fishing and I catch and release, or I go fishing and then we eat the fish. You know what I mean? If you're using the food that you're catching or hunting. It's different than doing it for funsies because you just want to fucking go poach some fucking endangered species because you're a twat. Because there are those people. So, you know. So like this, I mean, yeah, we're eating the tiger meat, but he really didn't do it because, like, tiger meat's a delicacy. He went for the power and the prestige. It was kind of the douche move, you know? Anyway. So I'm with Majima here. His words are flat.
And I like animals. I'm against thoughtless killing.
Oh, really? The first I've heard of it.
My family home always had dogs. They were cute, meek creatures.
I'm envious. I also really wanted a dog. My father didn't like them.
Was that so? I wonder if he had an unpleasant experience.
I was wondering the same thing, Majima. I was like, my father hates dogs. I'm like, I wonder if one of Majima's family dogs bit his ass after he murdered their masters and almost killed Majima too. I wonder. My father was always a timid person, so I'm sure it was just him being afraid of the barking.
That might be the case.
Majima's like, wow, you don't know shit. Well, at any rate, the dinner was all about announcing that Lady Kyoko's father had caught these tigers. All the people were surely invited so he could show off.
The tigers aside for now. That would have been good for you to get out for a change of pace, my lady.
I debated a little bit about it, but I just couldn't bring myself to go. Majima's expression sinks at Spacey's words.
I guess, will that be true? You've had too many hardships, my lady.
But it was just because I thought it was too much trouble. If things would have just been a lot... Oh, there would have just been a lot of people I don't know, and I'd have gotten tired of talking.
But, my lady, you haven't really gone anywhere these days.
That might be true, for a reason, because I don't want to be away. Love you. Take me away. Make me your ice empress, but also have sex with me at the same time, because, like, let's have a best ending. Like, Majima's ending was good, but after that last bad ending, you're like, no, I want this, but with the bone and my brother part. I want those two to get... That's the best ending. Where's that? Maybe that's in the true ending. That's in the extras.
Was it because you're afraid?
Huh? Afraid?
Meeting people. Particularly men.
I'm scared. You're fine, Majima. You're fine, Majima! But, Majima, you're fine.
What?
When I'm with you, I'm fine. I'm not scared of anything.
My lady...
He seems taken aback, his eyes wide, but his expression almost immediately disappears.
You really trust me, don't you?
Of course I do. I mean, we've been together for how many years?
But it's more complicated than that.
Huh? What do you mean?
Well, you think of me as being completely safe, right? Well, I am a man, more or less.
Obviously, I get that. At this point, she's starting to think what he's saying is a bit strange. But Majima, you're not same as unfamiliar men. To me, you're different.
Was that because I'm your servant?
I mean, there's that, but isn't it more like your family?
Family?
He repeats the word softly and sighs. With that response, Spacey starts to think maybe she did something wrong. Majima, did I say something awkward?
No, that's nothing like that. I want to protect you, so your words are a great honor.
And why...
You don't understand.
He looks up abruptly. His expression is firm. There's an edge to his voice.
If you really don't get it, you're a truly terrifying person, milady.
I phrase it like that. Just say what you mean. She gets irritated as though something unpleasant is caught between her teeth. And when she does, Majima raises his voice.
And that's the thing. You're good at making men feel the way they do.
What? Well, now you're like blaming me as if I'm a harlot just because you're getting a hard on. I'm just existing here and I'll take it, sweetie. Let's go. Bedroom now. Like, what the hell? You're getting mad at me for this, and I'm like, I would help you out with this problem. For a moment, words fail her. Spacey can't grasp what he's trying to imply. She's good at making men feel the way they do. Spacey fails to see how she could possibly be the subject of those words, because she doesn't understand that Majima's got a thing for her, obviously. The implication throws her mind into disarray. She has no recollection of him ever uttering such a thing before. Majima grimaces at her blank stare and scratches his head. I'm sorry. What am I even saying? I should apologize too. I think I said something weird.
That's fine. I didn't do anything wrong, my lady. I'm the weird one. I'm sorry.
Yeah, kinda, because you want to bone your sister. At least we don't know you're our brother, but we still want to bone you, so that's also weird. The smile works its way onto his countenance once more, but the dark look in his eyes is thinly veiled. The sexual tension that never got worked out in the other bad ending is also kind of awesome, but in the end, they break things off there, and Spacey flees the thick atmosphere between them, heading back to the house. Of course, Majima doesn't see her to the manor's door, but the two does see her to the manor's door. Sorry, he does. But the two barely exchange words. How did it come to this? She hasn't the faintest idea why he got upset. Perhaps he's feeling burdened by her reliance on him. This is the first time Majima's rejected her so, and she feels as though a massive hole has been torn in her chest. But now that she thinks of it, it's certainly possible that she's been overly dependent on him ever since she was attacked. I should have gone to the banquet. If it means she's just going to think like this, if it means she's just going to burden Majima, the suffocating ache in her chest brings hot tears to her eyes. In an effort to assuage the tempest within, she decides to see her mother, but when she asks a maid, she finds out her mother has already gone to bed. She must pull herself together on her own, even with the pain and sorrow. If she tries to lean on someone else, she'll just make them suffer. Spacey feels odd, like she's seeing the world anew, like she's strangely cold. She heads to the kitchen to help with dinner preparations. When she does, she finds herself wondering where she put the Nadeshiko Majima had given her. It seems to have slipped through her fingers before she realized it. Like Majima. Man. In the middle of the night, Mother wakes up. Mother is dead. Mother dies. The flowers name itself. That's right, yes. It's always the one. A bone-chilling memory flits through Spacey's mind. Come to think of it, I was attacked by a strange man the other day. A frightening beast that suddenly jumped onto Spacey and attacked her in the garden. She's glad Majima came to save her in the nick of time, but the fact that she was attacked within the premises of her own home should be odd in itself. What happened to me related to father and mother? Was it the same man who attacked her, killed her father, and scattered Chinese bellflowers around her mother's pillow? If you're going with Saburo, then yes. Because he killed your father, I'm pretty sure that we've deduced he's the one that attacked you. She can't tell for sure. She doesn't have a clue. But her mother did mutter something and smile before she passed away. She couldn't quite catch her mother's words, but it's clear that her mother knew something she doesn't. Will she find anything informative if she searches her mother's belongings? But her mother's room has been tidied up, and there was nothing suspicious inside the room. All that's left is the storehouse. A place I don't go often. Her brother sometimes goes to the storehouse to nap, but Spacey hasn't entered the building even once in the past few years. There might just be something, a clue, inside the storehouse that no one has discovered yet. Well, not in this route. I should take a look in the storehouse. Her personality is one that makes it difficult for her to sit still when she's made up her mind. Spacey gets up from the couch and walks toward the storehouse. She briefly considers asking Majima to help her, however... No, I shouldn't. I shouldn't depend on Majima so much. Lately, he's been accompanying Spacey every time she walks outside the manor because he's worried she might get attacked again. What a sweet older brother who wants to bang us. However, she can't depend on him forever. As a matter of fact, when she told Majima the other day that she trusts him, he responded in a rather negative way. Yeah, because he's killing your family. Simply told him he's the only person she can trust, and yet he seems to have taken those words as a display of her inability to be considerate. The shock Spacey felt when Majima responded that way was overwhelming. I mean, you can see it from his perspective when she's like, you're the only one I trust, and blah. He's like, how can you be so inconsiderate? I'm trying so hard not to fuck you. You know what I mean? Like, but like, it's one of those things like you're mad at me for something I don't know. Like, She never wants to relive that experience. That's why she's having a hard time deciding whether or not she should ask for Majima's help now. I won't depend on anyone ever again. The only person that can protect me is myself. Spacey picks up her kaiken dagger and slips into her kimono sash just to be prepared if things get out of hand, and slips it into, so. She inherited the blade from her mother. The Ishikawa family, her mother's family before marriage, is a warrior house. This dagger is a weapon that's been passed down over the generations to women of the Ishikawa family. Under normal circumstances, it's supposed to be given to a girl when she gets married and brought with her as part of her wedding attire. However, since her mother passed away before Spacey could get married, the dagger was passed down to her as a memento of her late mother. Still, she's obviously never used one before. She's just imitating how it should be carried. Although she doesn't know how to wield it, having the dagger tucked in her kimono sash somehow puts her mind at ease. We're going to stab Majima, aren't we? That would be an amazing... I mean, this is a tragic end, so... The storehouse is almost empty since the household has sold the family's heirlooms in order to get by. She wonders if the only items she'll find inside the wicker boxes are junk and old kimono. Still, I might come across something useful as a clue. The household will eventually get rid of her mother's belongings anyway. Spacey decides to go through the items in the storehouse one by one for the sake of her investigation and sorting her mother's old stuff. Where should she start? Oh, this is different! I mean, it's still... I saw first floor hamper and all that stuff like that, but it's totally different. Then I thought it was going to be the exact same stuff, but it's not. There are old kimono inside the hamper. Some of these kimono might be valuable, but Spacey can't really tell. I should ask Fujita to get rid of this hamper. Where should she go first? Okay, we go back to first floor. There's just a lot of these, so I gotta look like hard to see. Where should she look? Hamper 2. I think this is exactly the same, or very similar, but... She finds many books inside. I wonder how much we can make if we sell these books. But this is different, the whole... Maybe we can sell these. She studies the cover of each one, trying to find something that she might like. To no avail. Where should she go first? We go back to the first floor, and we do... Hamper 3. Don't look at the... Oh, we do look at the wall! The wall. It's a wall. My favorite part of this game. It's so dumb. There's a picture book inside. Out of curiosity, she picks up the book and turns the pages. What? The book contains lewd drawings. Flustered, Spacey slams the book shut. But she is intrigued. Yeah, that was the same. This, I think, is the same thing. This is the... I feel like maybe like her thought process of like... I don't quite remember if when we looked at the books, we like looked through to see if any we liked or we thought to sell them. But I feel like it's basically the same where I don't think they needed to do anything different. It's a wall. Second floor. Where should she look? The hamper. There are small poetry anthologies and similar books inside. None of the items look particularly valuable. I'm just intrigued that that wasn't basically the same as what we've already done. They did totally different. Before long, the world outside the storehouse is getting darker. About time to find some light. The storehouse doesn't have any electricity, so the only source of light at night is either a lantern or something similar. I've gone through quite a bit. I guess I'm done for the day. Ready to leave the storehouse, she moves to stand up. However... Ah! Someone lunges toward her, hugging her tightly from behind, and pushing her down against the tatami. What the? It's Saburo, you can tell by the shadow. The man who attacked her the other day. The hairs on her entire body stand. The beastly stench, the ragged breathing, the iron arms. This man must have been waiting for the chance to attack Spacey. He must have been waiting for the moment she walks out of the manor alone. It took him a long time to come after her. I've done something stupid. But one day she decided not to depend on anyone. This incident has to happen. She's made a huge mistake by working alone. She was naive. Someone just attacked her the other day. No way in hell! She fights, jerking and squirming in desperation against the man's hold, but he doesn't budge. Girl, you got a dagger. I wonder, well, okay, so the title of this ending is A Strange Lady. I wonder if the strange lady is us, because now we become a killer. He's locked his legs with hers, limiting her movements, and put one hand over her mouth. Her arms are free, so she's trying to slap him away from her, but it's not working. What do I do? What do I do? Someone help me! She wants to scream, but the thick hand covering her mouth muffles her yells to mere groans. Picturing the impending outcome of this encounter, Spacey's mind goes blank with panic. No, this can't. What's happening to her? Why does she have to keep dealing with such misery? What should she do to turn the tables? To get out of this? Girl, you got... Hold on. Sorry. My mom was traveling and she got home now, so I'm replying to the text that, like, glad she got home safe. And my sister starts her new job tomorrow. So I'm just, I shouldn't, but like I got the pings and I was like, all right, my mom's not like, I don't know, wait like 2 hours and then be like, okay, glad you got home. Like, I don't care. You know what I mean? It's your mom. You should always text your mom back when she texts you, okay? Unless you don't have a good relationship with your mom, then I understand. But I do. I love my mom, so like, I gotta reply back that she got home safe. So anyway, screaming doesn't help. Crying doesn't help. But she's had enough. She doesn't want to live through another hideous experience. Yeah. Ugh! She feels the weight of something heavy on her right hand. After she thrashes a bit, she feels the unpleasant sensation of something plunging into the man's body. As soon as it happens, the body that's been pinning her to the floor pulls back. She stabbed him. Spacey scrambles to get up, but the fears made her legs weak. She crawls on all fours, trying to get away from the man. The man's groaning, writhing in pain inside the storehouse. Spacey watches him with bated breath, still not fully understanding what's just happened. The man continues to toss in pain on the floor like a caterpillar, breathing noisily through his nose and mouth like the beast that he is. Eventually he stops groaning. When the man's movements cease, Spacey snaps out of her trance. I mean, the fact that you got a kill shot, however you or he just passed out. But I mean, if you actually killed him, the fact that you got a kill shot with a dagger the first time you used it is kind of impressive. What just happened? She notices then that her right hand's curled into a fist. She gasps, looking down at her right hand and the fingers that stay curled as if they're grasping something. The storehouse is dark. She can't see what's going on. Trying to regulate her breathing and ride out the shock, Spacey slumps down on the floor and sits there. That's when you run. At that moment, however, she hears footsteps and spots a dim light approaching the storehouse. Spacey gulps. Who could it be? Has someone from the manor come to find her because she's been away for a while? And yet, for some reason, she has a feeling she mustn't let anyone find her here. She knows she's the victim of that brute, but something tells her she can't let anyone witness this situation. She tries to breathe as quietly as she can, but the more she tries not to make any sound, the more tense her body becomes, and soon she starts to shiver. All of a sudden, breaking the silence of the storehouse is a sound coming from the direction of the man who's supposed to be unmoving on the floor. Spacey yelps and fails to keep her voice down. I mean, that was the lamest yelp ever from me. She hastily slaps her hand over her mouth, but alas, whoever's outside seems to have heard her. The footsteps continue toward the storehouse and stop right in front of it.
There's someone in there.
Majima? It's Majima. He must be standing outside the storehouse with a lantern in his hand. Call to him. You trust him, right? Spacey panics and internally prays for him not to enter the storehouse. Please stay there. Don't come here. We have 2 CGs that unlock from this, so this ain't over yet. Oh, we also don't have a final chapter, so. But her prayers seem to be falling on deaf ears as Majima opens the door to the storehouse. The light of the lantern illuminates the storehouse, and it goes directly to shine on the man on the floor. Majima inches closer with trepidation toward the body and moves the lantern closer to shine on the man's face. Once he registers the man's features, he gasps in shock.
Saburo?
Saburo? Spacey curls into herself, her shivers intensifying. Saburo was her attacker? The man who attacked her in the garden and now here? It was Saburo all along. It was Saburo who tried to assault her all along.
Who's there?
Majima inquires, asking the room with a challenging tone. Because he doesn't know what happened, I mean, you know. She can feel her breathing grow rapidly faster out of fear and resentment. Spacey grits her teeth and holds her breath. But the lantern's moving, slowly making its way to where she's seated. The light's blinding, and she closes her eyes. She lifts her hand to cover her face with the sleeve of her kimono. What good does it do to hide her identity?
My lady, why are you here? Who is Saburo?
Majima asked with confusion lacing his voice. She gulps, willing her mouth to open and answer, but her throat feels like someone's twisted it beyond repair. Realizing Spacey isn't going to say anything, Majima crouches next to her. And then, he slowly takes her right fist into his hand and stares at it in silence. Eventually, Majima turns to Spacey with a pitying gaze.
My lady, you stabbed him, didn't you?
Huh? Her voice is back at last. The curse has been dispelled and her throat's working once more. What?
You don't remember, huh?
Majima mutters mournfully and moves to casually fix Spacey's disheveled kimono.
I understand you did it to protect yourself, my lady.
I didn't.
That's not your fault. I know.
Majima smiles, but he looks like he's on the brink of tears. Spacey's eyes flick across his face as she tries to process the situation. Did she stab Saburo? Really? I love the fact that he's like, oh, I know you did it out of self-defense, but like, girl, they're gonna hang you because you stabbed a man. Doesn't matter if he was trying to rape you, you should have let him. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck? I feel like that's the way the society is heading right now. Like, in this game, like, oh, you stabbed a man. He was trying to attack. Doesn't matter, you killed a man. That's worse. You should have just let it happen. Like, what the fuck? No! Bad game! That's what makes it tragic, though, you know? Well, wasn't she the victim? Wasn't she the one being attacked? Yeah, but you don't matter. You're just a woman. That's so horrible. She was only trying to get away from him, and the next thing she knew was... Oh. But she remembers now. The uncomfortable sensation that traveled through her right hand at that moment. Her hand reached toward her bosom to look for it. But it isn't there. The dagger is not tucked in her kimono sash anymore. It's the dagger. Stab him. At last it dawns on Spacey. She failed to immediately comprehend the situation when it happened, but Spacey indeed used her free arm to take her dagger and stab Saburo, who was pinning her from behind. And the uncomfortable sensation was when she buried the dagger into Saburo's flesh. No.
My lady.
Saburo? Hey, Saburo? He isn't responding to her calls. Again, one shot kill. Pretty impressive. Guess that's to be expected. He is dead. No. No!
My lady, calm down.
What should I do?
That's alright. It'll be alright.
Majima's not going to let anything happen to you. Majima grips Spacey's bloodied hands tightly and murmurs, his voice low and reassuring.
I'll figure this out. I promise I will.
Majima's hands around hers feel hot. The heat frightens her, leading her into thinking that she's being cornered. Spacey's trembling so hard and she shakes her head. What can you do?
What?
You rejected me. It's your fault. It's too late now. What can you possibly do? She just wants to shift the blame to someone. Anyone. It doesn't matter who. Okay, well, you rejected me, so this is your fault, because otherwise I would have asked you and I wouldn't have come here alone. I mean, it's sort of fair, I guess. It's like, the only reason I came here alone is because you rejected me. But at the same time, it's like, girl, he has the right to reject you, and like, it's not his fault this happened. It's just a really shitty coincidence and circumstances, but none of this is her fault. Majima's to blame for thrusting her away. Saburo's to blame for attacking her. I mean, and that I'll give you. If he hadn't attacked you, he wouldn't have gotten stabbed. Maybe keep your dick to yourself if you want to live. You know? Her brother's to blame for always fooling around. Fujita's to blame for always being busy. Her father and mother are to blame for dying. Is this another Kyoko route? Everyone did this to me. It's not my fault. I would never kill someone.
I know. I understand. You will be fine, my lady. I won't let anyone criticize you.
You're a liar. You don't even like me. You hate me, Majima. Oh, this is where you're supposed to kiss us.
I do not hate you. When we spoke the other day, I didn't mean that I hate you.
Then why?
My lady.
Just let go. Let go of me.
My lady!
All of a sudden, Majima hugs Spacey tightly and presses his lips against hers. Oh, hi! Oh, there we go! I was like, do we get a CG of this? Yes, we do. Her hand looks so fucking awkward. So don't look at her hand. Don't look at her hand. It looks so wrong. Can't make a muffled kiss noise. Spacey's eyes widen at the unexpected kiss. But Majima doesn't let go. If anything, he holds Spacey even tighter. The otherwise quiet storehouse is filled only with their breathing and rustling of clothes. Are we gonna get busy at the storehouse with a dead body? Because that's a little more fucked up than having sex with your brother. There is a line. I'm not sure where that line is, but it might be here, but I'll take it. The sweet scent of Majima's sweat tickles her nose. The scent of his always manages to calm Spacey down whenever she catches a whiff of it. Like the scent has a therapeutic effect on her mind. Woo! Slowly, her right fist uncurls. At this moment that she realizes Majima is trying to help her calm down. Gingerly, he pulls back, and their lips separate. With only a few inches of distance between them, she can see how bright Majima's eyes have become. Oh, yeah. You're not going to be able to resist kissing your sister now.
Are you all right, my lady?
Yes. Fine now. Perhaps judging that Spacey isn't lying from her tone, Majima lets go of her and takes a step back.
I'm sorry.
Huh?
Responsible for what you went through today. I'm truly sorry.
Majima. His apology stuns Spacey. You're wrong. Honestly, I don't think any of this is your fault. Actually, it's kind of all his fucking fault, to be fair, but...
I know you didn't mean what you said, but I personally think it is my fault.
Majima casts his eyes to the floor and bites his lower lip.
Saburo and I lived in the same building, but I failed to notice anything strange with his behavior. It's just, everything is my fault.
I like how you're saying everything's your fault, because again, it is, and he's like, and I live with Saburo, and I didn't even notice. The fact that he's shady and does whatever. I mean, I don't think you would have told him to assault us. You know what I mean? You didn't know about that, I'll give him that. But, like, I didn't know Saburo was the one who went and killed your father, and then threw those bellflowers around your mother. Gosh! Even though I basically told him to do it. Saburo. A shiver travels across Spacey's body as if she's just been reminded of Saburo's existence, and she turns to look at him. He's indeed not moving. He's dead, that's for sure. Well, I'm sure we got some dirt in the backyard we can bury him in. Can't believe he's dead.
I don't think we could do about it now. He deserved to die for what he did to you.
Still, this isn't right.
My lady.
The gravity of what she did to Saburo gradually falls on her. She can't bear this. She can't live on while shouldering such a huge crime. She deserves to be judged, fair and square, as a criminal. I must go to the police. I killed someone. It's only fair. Girl, you're crazy.
No! I won't let you hand yourself over to the police.
But I killed someone, and that's a fact.
Well, then all we have to do is hide the fact.
What? Spacey can't believe what she just heard. Illuminated by the dim light of the lantern, a mysterious sort of darkness passes over Majima's features. Majima, what are you...
Let's bury him.
Bury him? Saburo? Are you serious? Spacey gulps nervously at the idea. The way Majima suggested it was so nonchalant. It's as if he's simply proposing that they bury a dead dog or cat. But no, he is saying that they should bury a man. Saburo's body. But that's impossible. He's such a burly man.
That's not impossible. We just need to find soft ground to dig into.
What if someone finds his body?
That won't happen. Once we have him buried in the manor's premises, no one will find him. No one will even think of digging the body up, right?
But I don't think I can do it. Spacey stutters, completely at a loss for how to react to this turn of events. This ending is got so much more in it than I expected. Majima, however, calmly goes on to explain what they should do in detail.
Once he's buried inside the ground, his flesh will rot. It won't take long before he's reduced to bones. Saburo was a vagrant. No one knows where his hometown is, who his parents or siblings are. Nothing. We can always write his absence off as him deciding to leave the manor for good.
I doubt everything will go that smoothly. Think it's really that easy to deal with someone's death?
Yes, it is.
Majima offers matter-of-factly and smiles wryly.
That's a little depressing, yes, but a human's life barely has any value, especially the lives of people with low social statuses, such as Saburo and myself.
It's not true. Social status doesn't
It matters.
He cuts in, his voice calm and definite. Spacey clamps her mouth shut. She knows at least one thing. The fact that she doesn't know much about the ways of the world. That's why she can't just refute Majima's statement with a reckless opinion of her own, only to have him scorn her. Well then, suppose I agree to bury Saburo. Are we going to bury him in the garden?
Yes, the garden's our only option. That's the safest spot.
Right in a nice vegetable patch. Majima's voice is brimming with confidence. With her thoughts jumbled and every fiber of her being afraid, Spacey gazes at Majima with eyes filled with terror. I hope we start banging now after this, like we buried a body together. I feel like that should just bring us closer together. The man in front of her is the only person she can rely on right now. Fine. I'll trust you, Majima.
Thank you, my lady. I'm honored.
Majima carefully lifts Spacey's right hand like he's holding precious china and kisses the back of her hand. Spacey watches Majima, doubt making her head swim. Everything going to be okay? Is this really the only option she has? Because this isn't it. There's another CG, so like... And we didn't get the final chapter part, so... I don't think we're going to be doing the extra bits in this part. We'll have to do them all in the next one, so... Several days have passed since that dreadful night. It's been a few days since Majima successfully buried Saburo's body, and no one's noticed anything. No one's even suspicious over the fact that Saburo's been missing for days. Before Saburo died, the people working in the manor, including the butler Fujita, a maid who comes to do house chores. Before Saburo died, the people working in the manor included, the butler Fujita, a maid who comes to do house chores, Majima the gardener, and Saburo, who'd be tasked with odd jobs and driving. Since the household can barely pay the servants, no one suspects anything when the least loyal of them hasn't been around for several days. Still, Spacey's worried. She can't stop watching with cautious eyes at the garden below from the window in her room. Not today, either. What if a stray dog wanders into the manor and digs a hole where Saburo's buried? What if it rains heavily and the water washes away some of the dirt, exposing a part of his body? Mulling over the countless possible scenarios on her own has been eroding her mentally for the past few days. And yet Majima doesn't look the least bit troubled. She goes to the building where the servants reside once a day to visit Majima's room and demand to know if the hole Saburo is buried in is still intact or not. Each time he remains unperturbed. Of course, Spacey's aware that people will start suspecting her if she's too on edge. Still, the knowledge does nothing to shut the worried voices in her mind. That's because Saburo's incident isn't the only thing weighing on her mind. Her brother still frequents the red light district, and there's nothing unusual about it. What's new is that he hasn't been home in quite a while. Oh my god. Remember when, we blamed Shiba because Mizuhito threw himself in the river? Majima probably killed him. My lady, do you have a moment? Yes, come in. Fujita steps into the room, looking haggard and mentally exhausted. That's to be expected. Ever since Mizuhito went missing, Fujita's been walking to places to ask around. My lady, I have news. Oh god. Oh my god, this really is a tragic end! About my brother? Did you find him? No. But someone saw someone that looks like Saburo. What? Saburo? She jumps in shock. But how? No way. It can't be true. Saburo was in the garden, buried deep in the ground. He's no longer alive. He can't walk out of the hole. Impossible. Impossible! Spacey knows she's only a couple of seconds away from having a panic attack. No. I need to calm down. That's right. Saburo's walking, up and about. Right now has to be improbable. Spacey repeats the words to herself. Saburo's no longer here. Because that night, she killed him. So, what about Saburo? Well, I simply find it odd that Saburo disappeared on the same day the master stopped coming home. But what does Saburo have to do with my brother and vice versa? That I'm not sure of myself, but I believe this matter is worth investigating. Did we actually stab Mizuhito? And Majima convinced us, no, you killed Saburo, remember? And you're like, yeah, it was Saburo, not Mizuhito. Oh my god. Oh my god. You're going to head out now?
Yes, I thought I should let you know first before I leave the manor.
All right, just please come back soon. I really couldn't care less about Saburo.
Understood. I will return before it gets dark. Well then, if you'll excuse me.
Unless Saburo killed our brother. Mind in turmoil, Spacey watches as Fujita turns around and walks away. Although, if you were Majima and you were killing everyone in the family, you would want Mizuhito to die too. But you'd want people to find him so that I am now the heir. I own everything, and then you can be like, bang, fuck your sister and get the money. Like, you know what I mean? He looks worn out. He must be extremely fatigued from overworking for days. Not that we have money, but you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Nobody's gonna stop you from marrying me. I run this fucking house now. And just forget about Saburo, though. Not like he'll find him. She mutters. Like she's trying to erase herself or reassure herself by voicing her thoughts out loud. Still, where has her brother disappeared to? Probably the bottom of the river. The man that she and Majima buried was Saburo. They bury her brother by mistake instead? Huh. No way. I like how the game throws that out when I was like, wait, did we accidentally kill our brother? And then, Majima was like, Saburo? And we're like, yes, it was Saburo that I killed because we were in such a state of shock. She laughs to herself with a grim joke, but soon it sounds more haunting than hilarious. A cold shiver runs down her spine. Majima... Emotion's gone haywire. She calls his name. Majima! She can't sit still any longer. So she breaks into a run. She runs and runs toward the garden without paying attention to her surroundings. Luckily, Majima's watering the plants in the garden, so she sprints right to him. Majima!
What's the matter, my lady?
Majima's hands still, and he pauses his task in favor of staring in bewilderment at Spacey, who's run to him until she's panting.
Did something happen?
Fujita just left the manor.
Oh, yes, I know. He went to look for Master Mizuhito again, right?
No, well, actually... Spacey trails off and tries to regulate her breathing. She knows it's stupid to even believe that Saburo's still alive, but she just can't get rid of the fear clinging to the back of her mind. Fujita told me he knows someone who saw Saburo.
Huh?
Majima squints his eyes, studying her dubiously.
You know that's ridiculous, right?
I know. I did it first, but...
My lady, did you forget about what happened in the storehouse?
I remember. Just... Please don't say it out loud.
Then why did you not try to stop Fujita?
But what could I say to stop him?
You could have told him that Saburo has nothing to do with the Master's disappearance.
Well, Fujita said Saburo disappeared on the same day my brother stopped coming home, so... The two cases might be connected, and we might have accidentally killed our fucking brother. Maybe he grabbed us from behind, like, oh, hey! Like, grabs our shoulder, and then, we freak out and stab him, and nothing, like... And we just had, like, a trauma moment, even though he did not pin us to the floor or do anything.
Oh, I see.
Majima glances away, staring at nothing in particular in the distance with a scornful look on his face. Or he killed our brother, buried him in the garden, then was like, I already got the perfect hole dug! We could just put Saburo in there too on top of your brother's dead body.
I'm crying out loud. Even Fujita's way too uptight and serious for his own good.
Huh? What's that supposed to mean?
Nothing. I'm just impressed he's running around to investigate every piece of information he finds. He could have at least tried to plan his investigation out.
This is interesting. My brother is missing, and it's a desperate situation. I simply think he has no choice but to take every clue seriously.
Right. I suppose you're right.
Majima shrugs, and it appears he's in a better mood now.
I think Vegeta's going to collapse from exhaustion before he finds the Master, though.
Yeah, I think so too. Because the Master's dead?
Worrying, right? I wonder what happened to this manor if Fujita disappears, too.
Majima's offhanded remark strikes Spacey with terror, and she rambles in panic. I was literally wondering, I'm like, sitting here when he's like, God, Fujita's just too good, like, God, why won't this man stop? And I'm like, are you gonna off Fujita too? Like, aren't we gonna get suspicious when everyone in the manor has died except for me and Majima? And we're like, huh, weird. I mean, I don't think we're that stupid. What do we do if Fujita disappears?
Oh, well, that's just a hypothetical scenario.
You probably shouldn't have said that out loud. Don't ever say that again. She's terrified. What if Fujita does disappear? She'll literally be alone in the manor. No, she'll have Majima, remember? The anxiety is vehemently oppressive, weighing down on her like it's looking to crush her. Perhaps she should have asked Fujita to stay instead of taking action upon the unreliable information he obtained. Casting her eyes down to the ground, Spacey lifts her thumb and begins to worry at the nail. All the while, Majima's staring down at her.
My lady, everything will be fine. At the very least, no one's found out about what happened in the storehouse that day.
Not the problem, and you know it. My brother hasn't been home for days.
I think the master will show up at the gate one of these days, though.
He's never been away from home this long before. He's gonna show up at the gate one of these days, in a body bag.
I see. I hope he's alright.
Majima offers half-heartedly, because he knows he ain't. Is it just her, or lately Majima's been acting odd? There's something false and hypocritical about him now. When did the change occur, though? After Saburo attacked Spacey for the first time in the garden, Majima seemed genuinely concerned and desperate to comfort her. However, ever since the incident at the warehouse, Majima's look has become oddly cold. And again, I don't think that's so surprising. Majima just happened to be near the storehouse, but the fact remains that she made him an accomplice. Although Majima appears collected otherwise, the whole incident must be taking a great toll on him. This is when Spacey is reminded that she's been nothing but a burden to Majima. She's clearly asked him to play a role much bigger than that of a gardener. Majima, sorry.
Huh? What brought this on?
Sorry for dragging you into this mess when you must be the person who wants to leave this manor the most.
What?
It's a while for him to answer, and when he does, he sounds like her question has caught him off guard. So she looks up to see Majima. He looks strangely pale, like the color has been drained from his face. Majima? What's wrong?
Huh? Oh, nothing.
Her question seems to have reeled him out of his stupor because his lips quirk up to form a forced smile, and he scratches at his cheek.
Well, I was just wondering what you meant by that statement, my lady.
Huh? I literally meant every word.
I'm the person who wants to leave the manor the most.
Yeah, this manor has been losing its residents, and on top of that, I'm always such a burden to you.
Oh, well, that's what you meant.
He seems satisfied with her answer, and his features smooth out.
I can assure you that isn't the case, though. I'm not leaving.
But soon this household won't be able to afford your salary.
And that's fine.
Majima smiles faintly and shakes his head.
I still have unfinished business in this place.
Am I the unfinished business? In the end, Majima's premonition comes true. Our brother comes home in a body bag. Mizuhito is so dead, or Fujita's gone missing now. Is he trying? Like, okay. So I'm kind of... This is an interesting bad ending. Because we've told Majima knows how we feel about him. He's trying to fight it. But he did kiss us in the storehouse. I mean, to get us to calm down, sure. But, like, he's still... Is he taking out everyone in the manor so that we can only rely on him and that he can manipulate us? So, like, but he already knows we love him. But it's still like he's already... like, before, we ran away before he could kill our parents and, like... And the... You know, whatever. But he's already started down his revenge path. But, like, is he so far in the revenge path that he's like, yeah, I want you to suffer too? I feel like that would be out of character for him, because even though he wanted the house to suffer, we weren't, you know what I mean? Like, he had the party, he had our father killed at the party or whatever, because he didn't want us to get married to someone else. And it wasn't like, you have to suffer and not be married. It's, I don't want someone else having you. You know what I mean? So we've confessed our feelings to him. We have no interest in marrying anyone else. He's still taking down our family. But is he doing it and then it's like the, I want you to suffer too, precious little sister? He's like, well, when everybody's gone and you have nobody else, then you have me and then I can have you. And see, I've gotten my revenge and I get to have my sister. You know what I mean? Like, is that what he's looking to do? I kind of feel like that fits more in his character than trying to destroy us too. You know what I mean? So I'm curious because it's like, it does almost seem like he's also trying to make us go mentally insane. But like, is he? Or like, you know, I'm kind of like, I don't feel like that would fit his personality, but at the same time, like, maybe he's literally lost his crackers. I don't know. I don't think we're going to finish this in this part. So we will finish in the next part and then we'll see what happens. So, okay, so, here's me being like, oh my god, this is going to end so fast, but the bad endings are taking a while. Plus, we have those extras, which I didn't know about. So, we'll finish up this ending in the next part. We'll start those little extras and see if we can wrap up this ending, all 3 of those, and do all the voice acting. Otherwise, we'll just keep going until it's done. So, surprise me! Okay, I got a couple, was getting an extra part, and now I might get 2 extra parts out of this. So I'm fine with it. So, but anyway, I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.